Hello and welcome to the LampPod. It's me, Sam, and you,
Neil. Hello.
Hello. Yes, this is the 44th LampPod and the second in our WandaVision watchy along, but not really watch along.
Are you
thing.
Are you actually keeping track each week of what number it is? Because I straight up had no idea.
Well, I just remember that we ended on 42. And then last week was 43, so...
Okay.
That's how I arrived at this conclusion.
Fair enough. Yeah, a little bit different this week. I have no facial hair.
Yeah, and you're looking bold.
I haven't been outside yet, and I'm really worried about it. I'm really worried
What,
the sheer cold.
Skin.
Yeah, like when my face fall off. Hasn't been used. Like when you open a coffin and like the bones will decay because they haven't been exposed to the air. I'm kind of worried that might happen to me. But yeah,
I hope that happens to you.
This won't be permanent. I hopefully will have stubble next week and something the week after, and then be bearded within a month.
Well, you shaved off your beard today, right?
I shaved it off last night. Yeah.
Last night, okay. I shaved earlier, so it's almost like we're racing to next week to figure out how much growth can happen, and you'll definitely win because I will have just what you see now.
I'm really excited because I've never actually tracked how quickly my facial hair grows because I don't think it's that fast. I don't think it's really that quick. But like, so now I'll have like that's week 1, that's week 2, that like. And it'll be nice for me to be able to know.
I suppose I'm saying we're going to race each other, but like I'm definitely going to shave my mustache before we film next week.
Also, you've already won.
I can't expose the world to this.
Your mustache never leaves.
That's true. It is perpetually there. It's looking very just there right now. Anyway, WandaVision.
Yeah. How are you feeling about WandaVision since last week, man?
It's chill. I've watched it again since, and it's just like it's fun.
Yeah, I have no issues with it.
I didn't like check out the way I did with the like once it gets to like the magic show this time because I sort of paced out the 2 episodes. I watched them like days apart.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, this is fine. Like whatever.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to take like an episode in and speculate and be able to talk about it for a little bit longer and just it's more digestible when it's just one, I think.
Yeah, they're sort of doing 2 back to back, like jumping in the deep end and stuff. It was, I don't want to say it's exhausting because it really wasn't that much time taken up, but like I don't know, it's just sort of a lot of mental processing power was spent by me sort of like trying to figure out when things were going to suddenly become the plot and not just continue to be sitcom.
Yeah, I think they needed it because episode 1 was just sitcom, and then episode 2 was like, here's a bit of color, and here's the radio, and here's the beekeeper, and here's her rewinding, and here's more color, and you're like, okay, so this is an actual thing. We're still in the same world as the last one, but it's different and it's been altered, and like she has some control over it, like so. Yeah, it's so interesting this time around.
Have you rewatched the episodes since?
I have seen them since. I watched them with the people I live with, and we kind of had similar speculation to what we discussed. I put forward your ideas because they don't watch this, and that's fine.
Claim them as your own. Guys, what if the beekeeper's in a hazmat suit? Neil, you're a genius.
I knew it. Yeah, I was like, I'll put money on it. But yeah,
did anything else stand out to you this time?
Not really. Like I was watching the show and I watched it the day after, so I watched it last Saturday, and I was like, it's kind of still as confusing and as I still have as much idea as going on as I did the first time going in. So I did come to the conclusion that I don't think the show is great so far.
Okay. That's fair.
I
think that's very fair.
I'm like The Mandalorian episode 1. Like it sucks to constantly compare it to The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is incredibly special, but episode 1, I was like, okay, here we go. This is the show. Like this is the setup. I know what's happening. Like he finds the child. I'm like, that's gonna, like either he's gonna take it or he's gonna keep it, and like that's fine. Whereas this, I'm like, I don't know what this show is yet.
Yeah.
Like it's just a sitcom.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. With like elements of what's going on?
Yeah. Like in
But like what's going on? Please tell us.
What is going on?
Seriously.
Oi. Feige.
Come on, Feige. What are you doing, mate? Bloody Figo.
But yeah, I'm excited to keep watching, and I'm excited to be proved that this is a better show than it is so far. I think Disney was smart in releasing the first 2 episodes last week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I think people would have checked out had this being the second week and we watched episode 2. I would have been like, oh, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah. And especially, I can see a lot of people watching just the first episode sort of thing, like if it was one episode a week, and like genuinely thinking it was a sitcom, because there's not a clear style change. If you're not looking for it, there's not a clear style change at the end of that episode.
If like we've some vague experience with film, like in the loosest sense, we have experience. So like we watched the film, we watched the first episode, and we were like, what are these new camera angles that we've not had so far? And the everyday person wouldn't pick up on that. And like I'm living with film students, and I was like, did you guys notice? And they were like, what? And I was like, well, we suddenly got these like zooms and these medium shots where it had all been wide for the whole episode, and they were like, oh no. And I was like, well, in the next episode, that's like the norm. And so like I'm living with film students, with actors, and with makeup artists, and like that went over their heads. So like it wasn't until episode 2 that I was like, this is actually a thing. We're going to set up the next transition, the next thing in each episode.
What do you think is going to happen at the end of the episode? Like if we are setting a tradition of the end of the episode gets to the next era, what is going to happen, do you think?
This week I think like maybe the rooms will change, and like maybe there'll be like costume change, and like an actual like this is a new place, whereas like this one it was like the room became color. I think this one will be bits of the room change, and like the sofa becomes a little bit modern, and like stuff like that. So that's kind.
I can totally see. Like, I don't think it'll be this episode, but like one of the episodes, they're definitely gonna like widen the screen. That's totally gonna happen at some point.
Yeah,
but I think it's the 80s. Like going into the 80s, that's still too soon, because even Friends in the 90s is still bots.
Yeah, to begin with,
so
was.
Like,
yeah,
we might. I really
go
don't
from,
know.
Is it 3-4 to like maybe like to 16? Is it 16-4? And then
16 by 9 is standard. I think.
Yeah,
I think
so maybe they'll go from that
three
into like letterbox, like
into like actual like cinema.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Because I'm pretty sure Falcon Winter Soldier is all like movie aspect ratio. I can't remember which.
Well, yeah, Mandalorian, doesn't it? Season 2, episode 1. It goes from cinema like
it's IMAX
and it widens.
Yeah. Which I still believe they were supposed to show that in movie theaters. I'm absolutely convinced.
I subscribe to that theory. Absolutely, yeah. Like that totally makes sense. And then COVID was like, nope.
How about no, Mr. Favreau?
How about just on Disney Plus? A few things I want to note that I've picked up on since. So the helicopter that she finds, the toy helicopter. I didn't, because we watched it together, we were sort of talking to each other and stuff. I guess I didn't hear like the sound design. Yeah, it sounds like it's like a big like. So is that an actual helicopter
in the real world.
that's crashed inside of the reality or something.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Which is dark because where are the bodies?
Yeah, oh my god.
Are they in the bush? Did they turn into toy soldiers?
Oh, they're like in the background, one of the shots floating down, like in a parachute. First one is like paper bag, yeah. No, I noticed that the second time watching it round. I didn't notice it the first time, for sure.
Because it's like shocking, like whoa, it's like loud.
Because it's why she goes outside, which I had no idea about.
Yeah,
I was like, what's going on?
because I just seem to remember it being like, oh, she's outside now.
Yeah, I don't even remember her being like, and then like going out. I just remember her leaving, and I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's what people do.
Yeah.
People leave their houses. That's fine.
That's just how it works, right?
That's how the world do be.
Remember when people left their houses?
Oh wait, yeah. My god, WandaVision's unbelievable. What a period
dated,
piece. The accuracy.
Another one is when what's her mate's name? Is it like Dottie or something?
Like
the lady that has
something?
shown up in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Something like that.
We don't know these characters well enough.
Yeah, when she sees her outside the house, once she's looked at the helicopter, in the background you can see the street where the guy in the bee costume, not bee costume, the whatever you call it,
beekeeper. Yeah,
beekeeper. He comes out of a manhole. In that shot, there is no manhole.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's cool.
He's, if it is a guy in a hazmat suit, he's obviously appeared from like a vent or something, and then she's had like her brain, her like reality shifting it's adjusted to make a manhole to sort of explain it, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that, perhaps.
That's interesting. I didn't pick up on that.
So I wonder if there's other things in the background that are just changing and we don't notice.
WandaVision. WandaVision is just the Among Us movie. They've done it.
I saw the beekeeper vent.
It's a bit sauce, mate.
bit sauce.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah, I'd be really interested to go through with like a keen eye and have a look and see if there's
what's going on.
Yeah, like see if there's like example like a radio before the radio explodes. Like, is there a radio anywhere like around, like stuff like that? That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. The other thing that I wanted to say as well is so the ads, which we predicted, they are events from her life.
Okay.
So the first one is this Tony Stark toaster, and when the toast is done, it's like beep, 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 because that's what killed her parents. If you remember their monologue from the Age of Ultron,
the bomb, and we were left looking at Stark, waiting for him to kill us, or whatever the line is.
Yeah. So that's what that was, and then obviously Strucker is like that's the next key moment in her life, I guess. Is like she spends time with like Strucker.
They volunteer for the experiments to get superpowers, I guess, to get revenge on Stark. Yeah. So is the next one going to be like something to do with Sokovia and like the flying city, or like something to do with like dealing like her brother dying or something?
Yeah, those two events are like basically at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would, and also probably after Strucker, the most key event that happens to her. So I wouldn't be surprised if this episode there's some kind of mention of like Pietro or Quicksilver jewelry or something like that. Yeah, like silver jewelry, Quicksilver or something.
Or like maybe it'll be a series of it's like a guy giving motivational speeches, and it's Jeremy Renner being like, none of this makes sense, but if you come out here, you are an Avenger. That's what I want.
I mean, I could totally see that working in an ad. Like, you could be the Avenger or something. Like, use this toothpaste. I'm calling it. This toothpaste is happening.
Yeah, you weird obsession with toothpaste at the moment.
Wait, hang on. The next thing that happens in her life before Pietro dies or Sokovia flies, is Vision's born. So I wonder if the next one could be Vision being some kind of mention to Vision's birth.
Like Ultron like recruiting her, something like that.
Also true.
Yeah,
meeting Ultron.
Something within the time span of Age of Ultron.
Yeah, there's got to be something there.
Yeah,
right?
I'm
assuming one
that.
of them would be and then like at some point, presumably there'll be one about when she like explodes the like the building and stuff, and like, in Civil War, and there's a lot to come. And then one of them, maybe the last one, is when she kills Vision. Like it's an advert about her killing Vision.
Yeah, or like the snap, like the getaway you've always needed.
Do you ever feel like you just want to turn to dust and get away? Go where the wind takes you. Use Thanos Airlines.
I was gonna say Thanos Airlines. Oh, so dumb. All right,
dumb.
Cool.
Yeah,
we've got a few
predictions.
Shall we have a watch?
Absolutely, I'm pumped.
Yeah,
I'm
me
more
too.
pumped now. We've had this discussion.
Me too.
Prove me right, Marvel, please.
I'll let you transition.
Oh yeah. This week's transition is here we go, and we're back. Here we are watching. Well, we watched it. We watched episode 3.
It went.
There it was.
Easily the most sort of like hooking episode. Like I'm in now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You've got me.
Yeah.
And I think they only had this week to really sort of reel me in, or like at least hook me, and then like now they've got to start pulling me in more.
Yeah, I don't want to say it was like their like final chance, because that's not where they were at all with this, but it was that like this was the critical moment.
Yeah.
Like I've come back for week 2, hook me, get
come
me
on.
in. Like if nothing happened at the end there, which we will discuss like right now in a second, but like if nothing happened at the end there, it would have just been like, oh, it's just dragging, dude.
Yeah, like the episode had like little
so.
little salt bays all the way through. But it was that ending that I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. At the end, they dropped the salt shaker.
Yeah. It was, if anything, it was too much salt.
Too much salt.
It was
a good amount of salt.
The
like
planet
I could have taken more.
The planet of Crate. Is it Crate? Crate Planet.
Yeah. Saltier than Crate is a subreddit about people hating the sequels. Anyway. So the lady gets chucked out of the reality bubble, which I think we may have discussed last week. I can't remember.
Yeah, so it's
some kind of bubble.
It's slightly different to what I think we had in our minds, or at least what I did. We might have been talking and been on different pages, but I was under the impression that Wanda was being like I was under the impression that this was all kind of going on in Wanda's mind. I didn't really think that anything we were seeing was physically happening.
Right.
Almost like being in a dream state, and like someone like Inception, like they're doing all this stuff, but then it cuts back and they're just like lying in a room and like.
Yeah.
But this kind of sets up that that's not the case, and instead it's more like. Did you ever see the episode of Black Mirror? I think it's called White Bear.
Unfortunately not. I've heard it's one of the best ones, but I haven't seen it.
It's good, but it's basically like the world role plays for like in this like one village, like everyone's role playing this event, and like that's kind of the vibes I'm getting now. I'm like, okay, they've made like they've got this town the size of like 2 football pitches. And they've cordoned it off, and they're like projecting. Maybe they're even using like barf, like they're like they're projecting images in and like projecting onto buildings to change them, almost like a fucking Disney fireworks show where they project onto the castle, and everyone in the world is acting, and but yeah, and that's kind of.
Interesting. Wait, so you got from that you do you do you think that it's the facility outside is the ones creating?
So yeah, so
reality.
she comes through the she at the end of the episode, Janine, was that her name?
Genevieve,
something like that. She gets thrown through this like digital hole in the sky, lands, and a bunch of cars and stuff surround her. But then as the camera pans up, in the background you can see like a row of fences, all with like spotlights, but the spotlights are shining away from that facility.
Okay.
So I think Wanda's in where the spotlights are shining down on, and what we're seeing is just outside of that. That's my take.
And you think that, like you're saying, like Barf, someone is projecting the reality.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I think it's Wanda. I think it's Wanda.
Like I want to believe Wanda has control.
I think she is in control. This is the thing we were talking about.
But it was
week,
purely
how...
the spotlights and stuff. I was like, why would she put that up when she's got the Mind Stone?
I think I'm assuming it's a perimeter. I think I think what's happened is, okay. Here's what I think's going on. So we talked about last week where it could be like this symbolism for like learning to deal with grief, and like you shouldn't suppress your grief and stuff, and like maybe it was going to go that angle. This week, it seems that she's completely aware of what's going on. And, like, even last week, we could have picked up on it when she says no, and then it rewinds and starts again. This week, Vision figures out something's afoot. And then in, like, the creepiest thing ever, the show, like, glitches out, and then it goes back. It doesn't even do the reverse, like, rewind the video thing. It just goes, and then it's just back there.
Yeah.
And that's presumably because her reality is getting ruined. She's like, I want to spend time with Vision and have my kids. And then he figures it out and she's like, well, how am I going to enjoy this now? So then she like takes it back to a moment where he couldn't remember. So I'm assuming this in the giant, I'm assuming it's like a big bubble, big dome of like reality that she's manipulating herself. And I'm assuming, I think it's Sword, like she's got the Sword logo and all this stuff.
It seems to be Sword, like all the way through.
They've presumably, obviously, they've noticed that there's a giant fuck off bubble in the middle of like nowhere, and going inside of it, reality is crazy. So they've set up a perimeter with spotlights, and they're sending people in, and it seems like this Genevieve or Janine, or I can't remember her name.
That's really annoying.
They've sent her in as like an agent, and. So I'm running away. If you want to jump in at any point, please.
I think I've explained where my head's at, so like I'm interested to hear where you're going with this.
So I was kind of under the impression that like people were like being brainwashed, but this week, the sort of the best friend character is having a chat with like Vision's best mate, and then he comes over and they're like, hey Vision, how's it going?
Yeah, they're very
as if
aware
like
that he's caught them.
Yeah, as if like instead of them being brainwashed, they've like entered the reality and they're playing a role so they can like get in close to Wanda, perhaps, and like figure out what's going on. And like maybe they're all secret agents, every single one of them.
Yeah, but then like, but if they're secret agents, why are they worried about? I found out the name is Geraldine. I went back and skipped the episode.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but they seem to be nervous about the fact that Geraldine's there. So I don't think... I think if Geraldine works for Sword, which I'm presuming because she had the sword on the necklace, if she works for Sword, why would the other people from Sword be nervous about her being there? Unless they're like...
Yeah, why would they out her? Yeah.
They're like S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe, and then it's like, who's this person? Haven't you noticed that Geraldine doesn't have a home?
Oh, dude. What if it's like Inception rules, where like if you mess too much with the dream, the subconscious like attack you? So all of these other people are Wanda's projections, and then this sword agent has shown up, and she's obviously not got a house because like Wanda hasn't invented her as a character.
Yeah.
She's just shown up in an outfit, and they were like, "If you notice some weird shit going on, we should get rid of her." Like, you know, and like maybe that. Oh yeah. Oh man, I'm very excited about this. Can you tell?
Yeah. No, I'm hooked now. I'm like, what is this show?
What's happening?
I know it went into it did the thing. Did we discuss this? We discussed this during the podcast, right? It went from 4:3 to wide. To CinemaScope, I think is what they call it, right?
Yeah, like 16:9, I think.
But yeah, so it did that, but it did that to go into the outside world.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, it didn't do that as a it didn't do that as a transition for Wanda or Vision. It did that to be like, we're outside now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe. Do you think next week? So if we're in the 80s next week, do you reckon we're going to go back to box?
We might do another. We might do like 80s into 90s at like the beginning of next week.
Oh, okay. Just like just sort of start abridging it a bit more.
Because
like,
they didn't really change. I think at a push, maybe like there was like a low angle of like Wanda looking into the crib, which felt very felt kind of Friends. Like in early seasons of Friends, there's a bit where they're all looking over the crib talking to Ross's newborn baby, talking to Ben, and they're like all like looking down on it. It kind of reminded me of that, but I don't think we've got there yet. I don't think we've done a jump. I have no idea, but I'm now more like, I've no idea, but I feel like I'm about to find out.
Yeah. It's speeding up a lot, which is nice. Yeah. Or it feels that way. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's just because the episode was quite like sporadic. I had an idea whilst we were watching it, where I thought we might get 2 adverts. I thought we might get 2 advertisements, because obviously if you watch American TV now, it's like every 10 minutes there's an ad break.
Yeah.
Whereas the midway break is quite a British thing. And like this one, I checked the time stamp and it came in at like 11 minutes. And this was a 28-minute episode. Right. So I was like, are we going to get 2 in this episode? Like, going to get another one? We didn't. I think that just happened to be a good break point. Like, and they were like, fuck it. And so what if it's been 11 minutes? We'll cut in here.
Wherever it fits, I guess, when they're writing the script. I don't know.
I couldn't tell if the actress in that in the Hydra soap, so close. We were so close to being right.
Oh man!
When it was like, "Do you want to get away?" I was like,
"Yeah." Do you want to fly away and let the wind take you? I was like, I verbatim just said
what
that.
Is happening? Wasn't Thanos Airways? Sadly, it was Hydra soap. Not quite toothpaste, but we're in the right room.
Like, we're approaching.
We're in the bathroom.
When's
Here we go.
Toothpaste gonna happen?
But yeah, I couldn't tell if it was the same actress as, because in the first 2 episodes, the guy and woman were the same in both episodes. So I couldn't tell whether like the voiceover guy was back to being that guy, and it was the same dude, and then like the actress just had a more of a main role because it was like the 70s and aimed at women, and suddenly you have this like
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't notice if it was.
No,
but it's possible.
I noticed it was before, but I couldn't tell. Like, we're in color, it's a completely different time frame. Hard, so difficult to tell.
Yeah. The fucking. Like, I just really like that whole end bit. Like Wanda was getting super villain vibes as well. Once she cottoned on to
Geraldine.
Geraldine. Once she cottoned on to like Geraldine knowing, like, she was like, Ultron killed Pietro, right? But like, in that moment, in her like performance, it's almost like she's coming back into the room. Like she's like ha 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 ha, and then she's like, Pietro's.
Oh, she sings in Sokovian. She's like singing to the babies. I only know that for sure, 100% because I had subtitles on.
Okay. I assumed. I was like, she's speaking a different language. She's Sokovian.
It's probably Sokovian. Yeah,
it
definitely is as far as and I trust Disney Plus subtitles purely because earlier in this episode, when there was the stork running around, the stork made a noise. And then Geraldine's like, what was that? And then Wanda starts to make a noise, and she goes, "Oh, was it?" And the joke is that it's her ice maker, but the subtitle says impersonates ice machine maker. So I was like, well, there's that joke.
Wow.
I was like,
spoiler.
Yeah, come on. Why would you not do impersonates bird and then like that joke still works even if you can't hear? Like, come on. Very disappointing.
Justice for people that need subtitles, man.
Justice for Neek.
Spoiled.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So I found that super creepy, and she was like, "Say it again," and it was like, Geraldine was trying to do like the thing you always see in TV and movies where they like change the subject, and it usually works, but no, Wanda was like, "No, say it again." Like, what did you say? And then you don't see her leave, and then Vision's like, "Where is she?" She's like, "Oh."
Did you notice though?
Like, very villainy.
Vision comes back into the house and is immediately in Vision mode. So like,
I think you see him go as he walks through.
Yeah, but like as he walks through the door, but like, he doesn't know who's there.
Oh yeah, he's ready to.
So is he
down?
Like, is he ready to protect his wife? Like,
oh damn, yeah. Well, here's a question: if assuming like she hasn't like reanimated his corpse or whatever, like, did she perhaps influence him to come into the room to attack Geraldine? But then I suppose she already kicked Geraldine out. So
no, I think he came in of like his own free will. I think for the most part, Vision is of his own free will.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think you're right. And a thing that supports that is the fact that she rewinds earlier in the episode.
Yeah,
it's like she can't directly influence Vision. She has to like reverse the situation.
Like the doctor saying, this isn't related. I don't know why I like segued into that like it was the same topic. But the doctor, there we go. That's about a tone. The doctor saying about like Westview. Is it Westview? Westview being a really difficult place to escape. And there's like a laugh track. I'm pretty sure, but like me and you both went ooh.
Oh yeah, I think it's a really like I really like the way they're using the laugh track because it is used to obviously at points it is just played straight like you're supposed to laugh at this, and then there are other points where it's like ooh, but then everyone laughs and you're like,
oh god. Yeah, it's yeah, there was definite hints in that episode that everyone sort of seemed to ignore, but I was like, come on, that's a hint, right? Come on.
Yeah. Another one is the chap is hedge trimming through the wall,
and there's like sparks
and like all that kind of stuff. Typical iconography that you'd expect from like it's the guy going through the iron door or something, you know, like
using a circular saw or something like that. Like,
so is going back to your theory of everything is going to be re-explained in a different way, is someone trying to like break into whatever room Wanda may be holding herself in, or however it is in whatever is actually inside that bubble.
Yeah, like I feel like from this episode onward now, I'm gonna have like these two Christopher Nolan like parallels running against each other. One in which it's my like theory of everything something, and she's in a room, and it's all like metaphorical things, and she's just justifying it in her mind. And this other one is going to be like, they're all actors, they're in a place, Wanda is living out a fantasy, and that's kind of the bulk of it, and then there's like other people involved. So like from this week on, I'm going to be like, oh, that supports that theory, but this one seems to be the one that the show's showing me.
Yeah. Well, I think something that adds credence to the idea that she's the one controlling it all is when her water breaks, like everyone's like sprinklers go off, because I think even Geraldine says that her house's sprinklers went off, which suggests to me that like the reality that she's controlling is changing with her.
But also,
sort of
that's her power. So like, is she controlling everything, or can she still just control things? That's kind of like, that's like, it's like Professor X in Logan, when he's having a dementia, like a senior moment, for lack of a better phrase. Everyone's affected by it because that's his power. So like, is it just she's feeling these extremely heightened pains and emotions that she can't help but cause things to happen? She definitely has some control, like the whole rewinding stuff. Like, I don't think you can ignore that, and that's irrefutable at this point, I'd say.
Yeah. So, okay, here's just a question for you then. Like, where do you like see this going? Like, what if she's being set up to kind of be a bit creepy, kind of villain? She's presumably not gonna end this season as like a villain, right? Do you think that? I don't know. Like, how do you see this going?
I don't know long term. I think it's probably Wanda's too dangerous, because that's Wanda's whole story. Like, Wanda is too dangerous to ever be like trusted, I guess. Like, that's kind of what they've been setting up since Age of Ultron, like Civil War. She's blamed for all the things that happen, even though like really they're not her fault. So I kind of feel like that's this again. I feel like it's okay, Wanda is upset and grieving and causing these like mile radius phenomenons, like these non-natural disasters. And this is a way of them like treating that almost. But yeah, I don't know where this. I think the show is going to be something hugely to do with grief. I feel like that's kind of the only way you can take Wanda. But yeah, overall, I don't know where it's going from this point on. What about you? I've got no idea.
Yeah, I think you're right. In like, it'd be a missed opportunity not to make it like symbolic of something and like do something like meaningful with it, instead of just being like, oh, it's crazy and weird and we're doing different eras. That's it.
That's the pitch.
I think there should be something more to it. What do I say? I think I honestly, like, I can see it in my mind very clearly. Like, the resolution to it is like like her projection of Vision has to like talk her into letting him go and like drop in the bubble illusion and like letting go of this fake reality, and she has to face real life. Like, if you look at it from that perspective, it's like to not deal with grief, like you're saying, she's created her own false reality where she can live happy and she's having kids and she's with Vision and they're married and they're getting on all these shenanigans. Unfortunately, that's not the truth. That's not what's happening, and she needs to and that's the symbolism of it. It's like you've got to we all feel pain, but you've got to learn to move on and stuff. And I can totally see like Paul Bettany's last scene in the MCU being like this emotional, powerful scene where it's like, you've got to move on without me, Wanda. Do it for me, like, you know, all this sort of stuff. And like, she has to be the one to go, okay, and then it all disappears, and like you get to see like not the devastation that she's wrought, but this kind of like maybe the
Well,
devastation.
it could
Just
be like you get a like when Thanos does you see Titan and then you see
Oh yeah, I guess.
you get the reality stone change everything.
Oh,
It would be
yeah.
cool to see that in this town, but they're in like a nuke town or something.
Oh yeah.
Like, which would explain why she's doing the sitcom thing, because like nuke towns are like just going from Call of Duty and fucking Crystal Skull. Like nuke towns are like these very like
town, and
we're a 50s family
Yeah.
and we're the nuclear family, like.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was the whole nuclear thing in episode 2. During the intro, there was like the nuclear sign, and we were like, in the introduction to episode 2, there's like constantly the radioactive man logo is like throughout the opening theme. So maybe it's a nuke town. Putting that one out there to bring back if I'm right.
Yeah, that kind of like model city nuke thing. Yeah, I totally see what you're saying.
Like, we need to put Wanda somewhere safe where she can play out this fantasy. A nuke town is miles away from anyone else.
Yeah.
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Okay, counterpoint to that theory. We're now fighting theory on theory.
Here we go.
Okay, on the radio in the previous episode, you've got the guy saying, Wanda, who's doing this to you? So maybe it isn't them. And maybe it's her. I'm going for this. It's her. I'm saying it. It's got to be her. I refuse to back down.
Okay, look, I'm more than willing to take.
No, you got your parallel theories. Yeah, okay.
I've got my parallels, and then like take the Nuketown thing away from everything I've said, and just be like, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in a Nuketown. Like for whatever reason, like that seems like a safe bet of like, be away from as many people as possible, cause as little pain as possible.
Yeah.
Also, I want to see that
way,
visual of like things being scraped away, and it's like all the paint's like peeled off and like all this stuff.
Well, like you see like the garden wall where the guy like sawed through it, and then it goes, and it's like I don't know, like a steel door or something. Like you get to see all this.
Yeah.
Maybe you see the toy helicopter again, and it goes, and it's a giant crashed helicopter
properly,
or something,
like, smashed down.
Yeah,
almost like in a like, almost as if she's like gone to Chernobyl, and it's just like living in Chernobyl.
Dude, what if she's in Sokovia? What if she's like in?
Oh my god!
What if she's in the crater of Sokovia?
That could work.
Oh, dude,
That ain't a bad show.
Ain't a bad show.
Okay, so
And
theory, more short term. Next week's episode, I think, is gonna start outside of Wanda's vision.
Yeah,
Wanda's vision.
I can totally see that. I can totally see that.
I think we're gonna see, like, maybe not people getting out their cars and like picking up Geraldine and being like, "What the hell are you doing?" But like just like Geraldine like in an interrogation room.
What did you
see? And we start to see a little bit of the outside. Maybe we see someone on a telecoms like being like, "Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda."
What do you mean there was a stork? Have you gone insane, woman?
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna, now we've done that transition out, and then maybe whilst this is all happening, it cuts to like them in the like on the double-sided mirror, and it's the guy from Ant-Man and like other officers, and then like the transition back into Wanda is they look over and there's a TV screen, and we go into the TV, and then we continue the story.
And it's the 80s intro. WandaVision.
Yeah, I feel like they've brought us out of it now, They've got to give
Yeah,
us something a little bit more of that.
Because we'll be. Ooh, we really want it now. You know, we want to learn more about the outside world. So just get us straight in there.
Pump it into
give us
my
a bit
veins.
of that juice. Put us back in. Give us a bit of sick comedy.
Sick comedy. Give me that situation com.
Speaking of situational comedy, the best joke was David Schwimmer.
Oh yeah. Do
Which
these
is
earrings make me look fat? Power goes out.
The lights too. Oh, thank God.
That dude's amazing. Why isn't he funnier than real David Schwimmer?
Why isn't he in every scene?
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for him to be given a bigger role.
Calling it 90s. He loses the mustache. He becomes
I want
the
it so
stand-in Rust.
bad. Ooh. So this is more of a connection back to the theories we've had in the past. But what if, so like before we said like it's Wanda playing with like her toys. It's kind of been disproven, but like it would be interesting if it's in a nuke town, and instead of it being Wanda playing with her toys, these are all the mannequins.
Oh right, yeah.
And like that's why.
Oh, and when it swipes past, they're all
in.
they'll freeze back. Is wow.
That'd be a cool visual.
Yeah.
If not, write that down because we're gonna do that.
Write that down.
We've got 9 episodes before we can plagiarize ideas that have been not used.
Yeah, we can use all the things that Marvel don't do.
We'll do. We'll write into something at some point. First of all, we got to find a nuke town in England.
Yeah. A nuke town that's that idealized 1950s America in Surrey.
It ain't working, Chief.
Cool. Any last thoughts?
Fleeting thoughts? No. No, I just want to know now. Like I would binge watch this show if I could.
Oh mate, absolutely, yeah.
And I think Disney are absolutely right in the way that they've done their they've done it with everything. They haven't bulk released a single thing they've produced, which is so smart. Come on, Nev, what are you playing at?
Yeah, like it's annoying, and like when Cobra Kai season 3 came out, and
2nd of Jan, 1st of Jan,
and it comes out, and then you watch it, and then you don't talk about it. Whereas with this model of, doing it the traditional TV style,
we get a week chatting about it.
Yeah, theorizing, and like it extends the lifespan of like a season of TV that takes like ages to make, and it extends it to like a nice length of time. Like imagine Stranger Things. Like if that came out weekly, how much more hype for that show there would be. There's still lots of hype, but still, like you want more.
It would make it like Stranger Things comes out, and then you wait a year, and then Stranger Things 2 comes out, and then Stranger Things 3. Whereas like The Mandalorian came out, and I know we were slightly different in England, although we did watch it when it was coming out in the States, but like. That year flew by because it wasn't a year. It was a year minus 9 months.
Yeah.
9 weeks rather. Like it was like suddenly instead of being 12 months, it was 9 and a bit. And
yeah. It really shortens that wait between seasons because it like when it starts, they've already like started making the new one.
We've completely tangented onto like. Everything wrong with TV, but I'm glad that this show, and all Disney shows, I think the quality is like so good that they deserve to be spoken about and not ignored. Yeah. I'm not a fan of binge watching.
Imagine how long this podcast would be if the
because we did that. We've done that before on the LampPod. We did it with Daredevil. I'm pretty sure Daredevil season 2 we watched all of it in like it would have come out on like a Friday, and we would have recorded on the Wednesday, and we made sure that weekend we were like done.
Yeah.
Which sucks, like, because
you want to be able to like take each episode apart,
and you want to be able to take your
unravel the
time
knot
with
of
it and not
stuff.
like have to just sit there and get it out and like, especially with the 13 episodes that they were doing for those shows. Jesus Christ.
Well, and there's like a social pressure to it as well. It's like it comes out and you have to see all of it.
Yeah, otherwise it will get
Otherwise
spoiled.
you risk spoilers. Whereas with this, you literally have to spend 20 minutes of your time on it, and then you're like, cool, I'm up to date for this week. Like to a lesser extent, the Baby Yoda memes. Yeah.
Like, they were coming out as soon as episode aired. And like, I know Baby Yoda didn't really have any spoilers to him. I guess like the name and then like Force abilities. But like, that just sucks. Like, I don't want to have to watch something ASAP.
Yeah,
especially
the grand
bulk.
appeal of the entirety of The Mandalorian like works because it came out weekly. The first week, you're like, holy shit, Baby Yoda, and everyone's talking about that for a week. And then you all come back next week excited to see Baby Yoda.
And then you're like, holy shit, that dude had the fucking cloning thing. And then that's all you talk about for that week. And
spoilers now for the end of season 2 of Mandalorian very quick. We will end this soon.
Are we doing it? Oh my god.
But imagine if all of season 2 dropped at the same time. Like, no one would be in sync watching that final episode in the fucking hype of seeing Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? Everyone would just be watching it at different paces.
We watched it a day late. We watched that last episode on the Saturday because we were filming stuff. That was the most nervous I've ever been watching Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant.
And thank God I didn't see anything. But like, come Sunday, I was seeing all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah. And that just wouldn't work if you had to sit through like 10 episodes. Like, we would probably do it, but like, you know, normal people that don't always have the time to sort of sit down and watch it all in one go and stuff, they'd just be like spoiled, and they're like, oh, I guess Luke's back.
Yeah, cool, whatever. I'll look forward to that. Oh, TIE Fighter's here. Cool, it's Luke. Sweet.
There's Luke. Oh, there's his.
Whereas we were like, who is it? Who is it? And then like you saw the green and you were like, it could be, but still. And then you saw the hand and you were like, oh my god, it's gotta be. And then you saw the face and you were like, I wasn't expecting to see the face.
It looks terrible. It looks fine.
It looks better watching it since. I can't tell if they've done stuff to it, but it looks better.
And it was. I just desperately wanted it to be Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
So I self-imposed disappointment.
Didn't we?
Anyway, we've deeply tangented.
Yeah,
we've
gone off the rails.
WandaVision. I'm in. Well done.
They got me. They still got me. I'm never letting
Kevin
go.
Feige, you mad genius.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to leave a like and smack subscribe. Come back next week when we'll be watching the 4th episode. And thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers. I don't know why I whispered. Start the whole podcast again.
We gotta do it all again.